to All Things Podcast. So, yesterday we were talking about the illegal foreigners, and because in South Africa there was a march yesterday, a very huge march, and I believe a successful march against illegal foreigners in South Africa. And so, there are a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to illegal foreigners, right? Now, I want us to look at who or what decides whether one is illegal in a country, all right? Because most of the time they take it as an attack to the people who are not originally from South Africa. So people feel like South Africans are attacking these people, but let's look at this thing, all right? It is the law of the country that decided that if you come to the country without documentation, if you come to the country without following the right channels, then you are declared an illegal immigrant or illegal foreigner in South Africa. All right. So it is not the citizens of South Africa who said that. It was the law of South Africa. It is the constitution of South Africa. So if you have a problem with South Africans calling the people from other countries who are not in the country legally, if they call them or refer to them as foreigners or illegal foreigners, illegal immigrants, you are not to blame the people, blame the law of the land. If there was no law in South Africa calling them illegal immigrant or illegal foreigners, then nobody will be calling them illegal foreigners. It is true that in South Africa, it is illegal for anybody from any country to enter South Africa without following proper channels or using the right channels to be in the country. It is illegal. That is the law of the land. That is the law of the land. Whether the police are doing something about it, whether the government is doing something about it or not doing anything about it, the law stands. It is illegal in South Africa for anybody from anywhere in the world to come to the country without documentation or to come to the country without following proper channels. That is the law of the country. So it is not hatred on the people from other nations. It is not hatred. It is not xenophobic. It is the law of the land. It is illegal for anybody to be in South Africa without proper documentation and without following proper channels. It is not hatred. It is not an attack on foreign nationals because they are not looking for all foreign nationals. They are only dealing with undocumented foreign nationals. In other words, if you are documented, you have nothing to worry about. So if it was a xenophobic attack or if it was an attack on national on foreign nationals, then everyone, each one of them will be under attack. Each one of them will be under investigation. But they are only dealing with those who are not documented, those who entered the country illegally. And not only those who entered the country illegally, they are also doing illegal business or illegal things in the country. The march was against such people. The march, it's against such people. So we know that in every state, in every nation, in every country, there are rules that governs that country. And anyone who violates the rules or the laws of that country is guilty. So I do not understand when people become angry at those South Africans who are saying, we see we have a lot of illegal people in the country or illegal people in our communities, illegal people in our streets. We have illegal people, and these illegal people or illegal immigrants or illegal foreigners that are doing illegal businesses in our country. They're selling drugs, all right? They're selling drugs to our kids. They're kidnapping our kids. They're stealing our cars, hijacking our buildings, taking over our spaza shops, taking over our business. They control who can run a business. They control who can stay in this place. These people are in the country illegally, but they seem to have control over the citizens of the country. The people who are illegally in the country controls the citizens, the rightful citizens of the country, telling them where to open shop and not where they can open shop and where shop. So the march is against such conduct, such behavior of people who are in the country illegally. And it is the law of the country, it is the constitution of the country that gives each and everyone to identify anybody who is in the country illegally. In fact, I don't have to even identify you. The law says anybody who comes to SA must have papers, must come through a border, must come through the right channels. So when we have identified and we've discovered that we have a lot of people who did not come, who did not enter the country following right channels, who did not enter the country following right procedure, it is our duty as a citizen, because what they've done is criminality. It is criminal. So what they've done is criminal. So it is our duty to report any criminal activity. One of the criminal activity, it's people entering the country without proper channels. All right, Katrina, Washington, welcome. So it is criminality to enter a country without proper documentation. It is criminality. So as a citizen, it is my duty to report crime wherever crime is committed in my presence, because if I do not report it, I become an accomplice to that crime. So I saw a crime being committed. The law expects me to talk about to report the crimes that I have seen. So why is it that when we see any other crime from the United States, Katarina, Washington, thank you so much for joining us. All right. So why is it that when we see a thief breaking into a house and we report it, nobody has a problem? When we see a thief stealing a car, we report it. Nobody has a problem with our reporting. When we see somebody killing somebody, we report it. Nobody has a problem with it. But the moment we report illegal immigrants, the moment we report illegal foreigners, then there's a problem. Then people start talking about these illegal foreigners have rights. I know they have rights, but currently they are breaking the law of the state. They are breaking the law. Okay, so you're telling me that when they kill somebody, they don't have a right. When they steal, they don't have a right. When they break into somebody's house and we report them, nobody cares about their rights, okay? When they rape children, nobody cares about their rights, okay? When they commit all these acts, nobody raises that these people have rights. But the moment you say this person is here illegally, then they start saying, but these people have rights too. You cannot just report them. You cannot just send them away. You cannot just call them illegal foreigners, but they are. All right, change the law. If you don't want people to call foreign nationals illegal immigrants or illegal foreigners, change the law. Currently, the law as it stands, it must be respected. How do you tell your citizens to obey the Constitution? How do you tell your citizens to obey the law of the country? At the same time, you are forbidding your citizens to uphold law. When they see foreign nationals, when they see them and they say these people are in the country illegally, and as a state, as a government, you are angry at the people showing you people in the country illegally. What is that? How can a government be angry at its citizens for exposing people who broke the law to the country? How can any government be angry at its citizens for revealing that we have people who are not in the country legally? And these people who are not in the country legally are responsible for drug movements, are responsible for drug sales, are responsible for the drugs that our children, that our youth are consuming on a daily basis. These foreign nationals are responsible for the prostitution of our girls, prostitutions of our sisters. And we expose that, and this government says, no, you should not do that because it will lead to xenophobic. It will lead to xenophobia. Really? Is that the best response from the government? Is that the best response from the government? The African Jambi, I feel you, brother. I mean, is that the response from a responsible government? Because if there is a law, then everybody must be equal before the law. Everyone must be equal before the law. But it seems that illegal immigrants, they are above the law. Illegal immigrants are protected. Illegal immigrants, they are above the law. They are untouchable, because the moment you touch them, then you are being xenophobic, you are being racist, you are being selective, you are being accused of hatred towards your African brothers. It is not hatred, it is the law. How can we protect the law if we are not allowed to identify and to report people who are breaking the law? Because if you are in any country illegally, you have broken the country of that law, and consequences must follow. Simple as that. So anybody who is in any country illegally, that person needs to face the might of the law. It doesn't matter what your reasons are for being in that country illegally. You are in that country illegally. Worse, you have no documentation whatsoever. We cannot identify you. We don't know where you come from. We don't know your identity. We are not sure which country you are from. And these are the people who commit most of the gruesome crimes. These are the people who commit crimes and they cannot be traced because their fingerprints are not in the system of the state. These are the people who can kill, who can murder, who can rape, who can do any crime. And they can never be traced. They can never be arrested because they are not legally in the country. These are the people who can commit any crime and leave in the morning, go back to their countries. Nobody will ever know, nobody will ever discover that they committed the crime. The reason we want everybody to be documented, it's so that we know who you are. It's so that we have your identity. When we are looking for you, we know where to get you. You have no passport, you have no ID, you have no residential, you have nothing. You're just a person walking on the street. You can do anything to anybody and nobody will hold you accountable because nobody knows where you're coming from. Nobody knows where you're coming from. Even when you die, it's a problem. Nobody knows your family. Nobody knows your country of origin. Nobody knows anything. When you die, it's a problem. Where must we bury you? Where must we send you? Because you have no brother, you have no sister, you got nobody, you got no ID. We cannot identify who you are. We cannot identify which country you came from. It's a problem. So why would the government be angry when the South Africans stand up and say, look, government, we have identified a lot of illegal foreigners. The question will be, how did they get in? Arrest them all. How did you get in? Who did you pay to be in the country? Which entrance did you use to be in the country? All right? Which one did you use to be in the country? So I believe that as long as the constitution of the land says it is illegal, then it should be illegal. And my point is, if we are to pick and choose which law to implement, which law not to implement, it's a problem because the citizens are crying and are saying, here are illegal foreigners in the country. Do something about it. And the government says, no, don't disturb them. Don't do anything to them. Let them be. What are you telling the citizens? Are you saying that some laws, it is okay to violate them? Are you saying some laws, it is okay to break them? Are you saying some laws are not necessary? Are you saying some laws are not necessary to protect? Are you saying some laws are not above other laws? When your nationals when your citizens commit a crime, you arrest them immediately. But when foreign nationals in the country illegally are brought to your attention, you do nothing. It is as if you are treating your own citizens with a hard hand. But when it comes to foreign nationals, you are soft. In fact, you do nothing. Because if any citizens were to violate any law, immediately the police will be called on that citizen. But when foreign nationals violate the laws of the country, enter the country illegally, even do illegal business in the country, you call the police are nowhere to be found. Or you call the police that will come and take the person, but 2 hours later, the person will be out. This is what the people of South Africa are saying is happening. They say these foreign nationals, they do some bad stuff. We call the police on them. The police will come and take them. But 2 hours later, the person is out on the street without bail. How do they get bail? How do they get bail? How can you give somebody bail who has no documentation? How can you give somebody bail who is in the country illegally? How do you do that? This person is in the country illegally, no papers, no documentation, no IDs. The police arrest the person. 2 hours later, the person is back on the street. How did he get out? Because he's a flight risk, no papers, nothing. Are you sure you're going to get this person? In fact, there is no, a lot is happening, and people, rightly so, are voicing their frustration about illegal foreigners. It is not only in SA, all over the world. In UK, it's happening. In everywhere in the world, it's happening. In America, it's happening. Illegal migrants, illegal. They're all over the world. There is no country, no nation that is not facing this problem. The issue is the governments seem to be doing nothing about this illegality. The government seems to not be acting when it comes to illegal foreigners. But should their own citizens do something outside the law, they come in heavy, they come in strong, they come in to destroy them. They come in heavy, they come in strong, they come in to destroy them. And this is the question we are asking. Well, we know every coin has two sides. Every coin has two sides. It doesn't matter how small the coin is. Every coin has two sides. Yeah, it is true that some people are in the countries illegally because of the living conditions where they come from. We understand that some that are in these countries illegally because they have nobody left where they come from. It's because some of them their family members died. Some of them, there are wars where they're coming from. So some of them, they just find themselves here. But my point is, even if you find yourself here because of war in your country, even if you find yourself here because of hunger in your country, because of famine in your country, at least you should have a document that tells us who you are, where you're coming from. At least you should have something that shows us who you are, that shows us where you come from. At least. And I feel for the illegal foreigners or for the illegal immigrants. I feel for them because they're suffering whenever there's these protests. They're suffering. They tend to lose even their places, their businesses. Because it affects them. But as much as, hey, Buster, welcome, Buster, and Chasing the Sun, welcome, brother. It's been a long time. African cannot be illegal on the continent, though. You are correct, Chasing the Sun. African cannot be illegal in the continent, all right? But it is our governments in Africa that made rules and laws that for you to be in any African state, you need a passport, all right? You need a passport, you need an identification, all right? Yeah, It is not the people, it is not the citizens, it is the governments who made rules, who made laws that yes, you are an African. Africa, it's our continent. Africa, it's our nation, it's our land. But our governments have decided to say, if you want to move from your country to another country, you must have a passport. You must have a visa. You must have permission from your country to leave your country and to enter another country. That is the government, all right? You are correct, Buster, saying Africa need to scrap the colonial rule. Yeah, but before that colonial rule is scrapped, it is the reality today. The reality today is that when you are in any African country without documentations, without papers, you are there illegally. So we will not be talking about illegal foreigners, illegal nationals, if there was no law. It is the law that is making us to talk about it. And it is the law that is making people to say, you are an illegal foreigner. You are in the country illegally. As much as the African continent is for all of us Africans. But our governments, our leaders kept the colonial rule. Our leaders kept these nonsensical rules. I agree with you. But the law stands. Whether we like it or not, it stands. Whether we agree with it or not, it stands. Of course, brother. Of course, brother, because we know before coloniality, we used to have freedom of movement. We could move anywhere in the African continent. We could move anywhere in the African continent. But now our governments accepted the borders. Our governments accepted the borders, even fenced the borders, even made rules, passed laws to say you need to be here legally. And I don't think it's a problem for people to be here legally. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem. The problem is people having bad intentions. It's people having selfish reasons of being in the country, all right? Selfish reasons of being in the country, all right? Because freedom of movement is not restricted. Any African can go to any African country, any African state, as long you have proper documentation. Onward Salim, welcome. Chasing the Sign says, it's coming back slowly. Few countries are doing visa-free now for African citizens. Exactly, that will be better. That will be better. You see, even if you've got free visa, even if you've got free visa for Africans, you will still have people coming to this to African countries without documentations, okay? Even if the visa is free, people, because they want to hide their identity, people because they don't want to be known, they will still come to the country illegally. You see, I don't have a problem with somebody who came to the country illegally, but they have their proper documentation. They have their passport. They have their ID. At least I know who you are. At least I know where you come from. But I have a problem with a male, a grown-up man, a grown-up woman, a grown-up lady who will just walk into a country, leaving their identity behind, leaving their passport behind. You don't know who the person is. You don't know where the person comes from. They don't use their original name. They're using fake names. They tell you a fake country. They're faking everything about themselves. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Because if you came from Angola, tell us you come from Angola. Show us you come from Angola. Illegally or legally, we'll deal with that later on. Whether you came in legally or illegally, we'll deal with that later. But who are you? Where do you come from? A lot of illegal foreigners, they are hiding their identity. They don't want to be known. They want to commit crime, go back. I feel for them. You know, as an African, we know that everyone is my brother. Every African brother is my brother. Every African sister is my sister. All right? It's my sister. And I have to protect them. All right? I have to protect my brothers. I have to defend my brothers. But how do I defend you? How do I protect you? I don't even know you. How do I protect you when I don't even know where you come from? Who am I protecting here? Where you come from? Have you committed crimes? Where you come from? Are you running away? Have you murdered people? Have you killed people? Have you stolen? Where you come from? How do I protect you, my African brothers and sisters, if I don't know who you are? How do I protect you, my African brothers and sisters, if I don't know your identity, if I don't know where you come from? If I don't know your country of origin and you have no documentation to prove to me that indeed you are from where you say you are from, how do I protect you? How do I defend you? It is difficult even to protect them. It is difficult even to hide them when these people marching against them are looking for them. You know, it is risky to hide a national foreign in your house. It is difficult and dangerous to protect them because you don't know who you're protecting. You don't know what life they were living in their own country. You don't know whether this person is wanted by the police, where they come from. You know nothing about that. It's risky to rent them a room in your backyard. It is risky to allow them to stay in your property because you don't know the history of this person. You don't know whether the person is dangerous or not. Buster says, I told you, just like in UK, Lutando say they still won't understand what you're saying. Yeah, Lutando, a lot of people, they choose to be ignorant, Lutando. I've realized that, Lutando, that people choose to be ignorant, you know, and people are used to fighting, and here we're not fighting. We're not even attacking anybody. We're speaking facts, all right? Robin Wakeoff says, what country are you in? Currently in South Africa, brother. Chasing the Sun, welcome, brother. Chasing the Sun says, crime is crime. Thought, deal with it as a crime, but don't chase everyone out if they have a business, going to school, traumatizing children. Listen, crime is crime. It doesn't matter who is committing the crime, all right? Crime is crime, and wherever crime is committed, people committing the crime should be punished. I agree with you fully, 100%. Crime is crime. It don't matter who's doing that crime, all right? All I'm saying is, why is it? Okay, let me take Robin Wakeoff. Yeah, Robin Wakeoff says, cool. Do you all have illegal problem there? Yeah, brother, there is a problem of illegal foreigners in South Africa. Yesterday there was a very huge protest, huge march. It was broadcasted live all over the world. Al Jazeera covered it. Other news network cover it. It is a problem because you have millions and millions of illegal foreigners in South Africa, and these illegal foreigners in South Africa, they are so powerful to an extent that they control even businesses. All right, if you want to do a small business, the small business space is dominated by these foreigners, most of them illegal foreigners. So as a citizen, if you do business in your community, you need permission from these foreigners, illegal foreigners. They must give you permission. They can deny you or allow you to run a business. You must pay them to run a business. In fact, they even tell you what you can sell and what you cannot sell in your own country. A foreigner, a national foreign, a foreign national telling you what goods you can sell in your space, what goods you cannot sell. This is why South Africans are up in arms. This is why South Africans are angry and they want something done. Robin Wyckoff says, we are chasing the sign, says who? White people. All right. All black, white, Indian, Chinese, Europeans are here in South Africa illegally. They are all races are here. There are some races who are here illegally. It's not only blacks, everybody. We have Robin Wick says we have millions of illegals here. Oh yeah. Buster says we're robbing. Robin Wyckoff says Texas. Okay, so in Texas there are also illegal immigrants. All right, Buster says okay, USA. Buster thought Trump sending them back. Oh, brother, we all thought Trump was going to send them back, but Trump is no longer sending them back. Trump, you see, the Biden administration was flooding the United States with aliens, was flooding the United States with illegal immigrants. You understand that? You understand that? And in America, it is the non-profit organizations, your churches, your civil society movements, right? Those are the ones who are collecting the illegal immigrants from the borders and dropping them in the shelters owned by churches, shelters owned by some government, some non-profit organizations. And Trump thought he was gonna get rid of all of them. I'm gonna build a wall. You remember Trump building a wall and stuff like that. Even though the wall is there, it doesn't help, because it is not the wall that is a problem. It is not the lack of the wall. It is the project to flood all nations with foreign nationals, with illegal foreign nationals. It is not only happening, Chasing the Sign says, but you're all chasing out blacks. All right. David, welcome, brother. It's been a long time. Okay, South African. Robin Wyckoff says Trump is, but the Democrats are fighting him every step. All right, every step. Yeah. Josten says true. Lutando says because they are amongst us, I haven't seen white person in months. Here's the thing. Here's the thing when we're talking about white illegal immigrants, all right? And Chinese illegal immigrants and European illegal immigrants. The difference is the location where these people are, all right? So the blacks will come to the black community, all right? And when they're in the black community, the community knows who belongs here. The community knows who belongs here and who doesn't belong here, all right? So the whites illegal immigrants, the Chinese illegal immigrants, and everybody will be most known by where these people are integrating. All right. But another thing, I mentioned it yesterday, that there is this idea that only blacks are illegal immigrants. When it comes to people of European, Chinese, people don't see them as foreigners. They see them as tourists, okay? They see them as tourists, okay? So many people, they never regard white people, Russian people, people from North America, people from Asia, people from Korea. They're not immediately suspected to be foreigners. They are suspected, they're seen as tourists, okay? People who are here to invest, people who are here to do business. But our black brothers and sisters, immediately you see them, immediately you hear the language they speak, you're like, this one is a foreigner. But it is not so with whites. It is not so with Chinese. It is not so with Koreans. It is not so with Asians. You understand that? So this is why you hardly see a lot of white foreign nationals illegally in the country being attacked, because in our minds we've been educated that the Chinese, the Europeans, the Brazilians, the Japanese are investors, are business people. They're here to do business. So when you see these other races, you see investors, you see business people, you see tourists. But when I see my African brother, I see a foreigner who is in the country illegally, even though they're in the country legally. So that is the mindset that we're dealing with. So I agree with you that most people who are attacked as illegal foreigners are black people. You are correct there. Robin Wyckoff says they make it sound like only Central and South America, but the news doesn't report the European and Asians. Exactly, exactly. That is true, brother. Chasing the Sun says, I say brainwash to hate yourself. That is true. That is true, brother. Brainwash to hate yourself. I can assure you now, we can bring 10 Europeans, 10 Pakistanians, we can bring 10 Asian people, 10 Japanese people, 10 Ukrainians people, and 10 Africans. And you ask anybody, who are foreigners here? They will almost without hesitation point to the 10 African brothers and say, those are foreigners. Who are investors? They will point to the Europeans. Those are investors. Who are business people? They will point to the Pakistanis and say, those Pakistan people are business people. No one will ever consider the black African brother as a business person. Nobody will consider the black African brother as an investor. Why? Because the minds have been educated that anything African, it can only be illegal in the country. Anything African, it can only be an illegal immigrant, never a business person, never an investor, never a tourist. Wherever a black person goes, he is there illegally. He is there not to add value, but there to destroy the country, destroy the economy, destroy the community. That is the mindset. So it is worse than when it is done in the African society, in the African land, in the African continent. That is the mindset. That is the mindset that has been planted to all African people. That a white person is an investor, a white person is a businessman, a white person is a tourist, but a black person automatically is just a foreigner. We never address white people, European people, Chinese as foreigners. The word foreigners is reserved for blacks. It is reserved for Africans. You understand that? And we shall not tolerate that. As long you are in the country illegally, whether white or black, Asian, you are in the country illegally. It is not only black people. So yeah, majority of people, when they talk about illegal foreigners, they are referring to blacks only. And that should not be the case. That should not be the case. That should not be the case. So if illegal, if for one to be an illegal foreigner is for them to be in the country illegally without documentation, without following proper channels. So it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It has nothing to do with ethnicity. It has nothing to do with your race. It has nothing to do with your country of origin. It has to do with law. Did you follow the law? Did you follow procedure? Whether black, white, Indian, Chinese, it don't matter. Did you follow the right channels? Okay? So, but that's not how we're dealing with it. We're dealing with it the wrong way. And I can tell you, not every illegal person in the country have come to do illegal things, or have come to do wicked things, or they have bad intentions. Not everyone who is in the country illegally is here to destroy, or is here to, to do wrong things. Not everybody, all right? So we cannot use that blanket approach to say, well, all of them are here to destroy a country. All of them are here to mess things up. No, it's not the case. All right. Now, let's talk about how some of them, they come in to the countries. All right. So we're talking globally, not only South Africa, not only Africa, globally. How do these illegal immigrants, illegal foreigners find themselves in these countries? Charles, welcome. How do they find themselves in these countries? Lutando says the world is not safe. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. All right, so this is the thing. This is the thing I want you to notice, and I want you to bear in mind. Most of the time, the illegal foreigners are brought in the country by legal foreigners, okay? So you've got one legal foreigner who is in the country legally. He will call his brother, his sister to come and join him. And his brother and his sister have no documentation. And he will make sure that they come into the country, they stay with him. He gives them shelter. He gives them food while they try to establish themselves. So most illegal foreigners were brought in by their brothers, their sisters, their friends who are in the country legally. You understand that? So one legal person in the country will bring 6 illegal family members in the country. That's how they do it. One legal foreigner in the country will bring about 6 illegal families or friends to the country. He will feed them. He will take care of them. He will look for jobs for them. And when these 5 illegal foreigners have established themselves, they will also get each one of them will get 5 or 6 more illegal foreigners to come to the country. They assist each other to come to the country. This is how it is done. So that is why you cannot win this war with illegal foreigners, because when you have 20 illegal foreigners today or this year, the 20 illegal foreigners next year will bring about each 5, 6 more illegal foreigners. So you will have about 120 illegal foreigners added. Listen, and if our constitution did not have that law, if our constitution did not say you must be in the country legally, we wouldn't be talking about this. We will not be talking about, we're talking about it because the constitution says they are illegal in the country. All right. Now Nokomane, welcome. Nokomane, welcome. So this is what is going on. And business-wise, the illegal foreigners, the people who benefit from them, because they are not walking from wherever they're coming from to enter your country. Some of them, they're using sea. Some of them, they're using land transport. Some of them are flying, all right? So there's money to be made using illegal foreigners or illegal immigrant. Transportation, the transport industry, it's making a lot of money transporting illegal foreigners. Sea transport, it's making a lot of money transporting illegal foreigners. Even air transport, air traffic, the planes, people fly from Nigeria to South Africa. People fly from Pakistan to South Africa. People fly from China to South Africa without identity, entering the country illegally through flight. That is why I'm saying that when we talk about illegal foreigners, it is not only people who are crossing the borders, the people who are being dropped in our shore, the people who are being dropped in our airports, all right? Illegally so. So it is broader, it is wider, it is deeper than just people crossing borders. Because there's a lot of people who are not crossing borders. There are a lot of people who are not using land to find themselves in our countries. They are using the sea, they're using the air transportation, illegally so, and they find themselves in these countries globally. So this immigration problem is a global problem. And I will say how we treat these people we call illegal immigrants, how we treat the people we call illegal foreigners, it should be better. We should treat them better, because according to the way things are happening, the wars that people are planning to do, the famine that people are planning to create, we will need the people who are abusing today in future. We may need the people who are abusing today. We may need the people who we are calling illegal foreigners today. We may need the assistance. We may need, when our own economy becomes what their economy has become, we may need to run to their nations. We should think about that. So yes, it is nice today claiming our land. Oh, this is our land. We want no illegal foreigners. We want no illegal nationals. We want them to go. Yeah. Their economies are bad. There is famine in their land today. What happens when the same situations that made them to run from their country to come to your country? What happens if your country goes through the same thing? You will stay in your country? Won't you want to go cross the border, go get water? Cross the border, go get food? Cross the border, go get employment? Won't you want to do that? All right, Chasing the Sun says, your country should hire more customers officers, having few to 1 million illegals, how to fix the problems? Well, they are there, brother. They are there. They just do nothing. Elon Musk says, leave it to the authorities. They can handle such situations better. Don't go around brutalizing your fellow Africans. Brother, you cannot leave talking about something to the authorities. We are not acting, we are not taking action, we are talking, we are discussing. Authorities, they don't talk, they act. We, the citizens, we talk, we act, we discuss about something. We have no powers to act. So there's a difference between talking about something and enforcing something. The authorities are there to enforce the law. The authorities are there to talk. We are, there not to talk about it, but there to enforce the law, okay? We, the citizens, we show the authorities what is happening. We talk about it. We discuss it, but we do not act. And nobody is trying to brutalize our African brothers. I just said, what happens in Nigeria, what happens in Zimbabwe, what happens in Mozambique, what is making these people to leave their countries and come to our countries? Those situations can happen also in our country. And when it happens in our country, won't we one day want to go to their country for shelter, want to go to their country for assistance? That's the question I'm asking. Because today everything is fine in our own country, because today everything is okay in our own country, we appear to not need them in our own country because all is well. What happens when we go through the same thing? Won't we want to go to their countries? Chasing the Sun says, you're looting shops, you're hurting black people. Am I wrong? Mary Fumo says, Mozambique, if closes the port in Maputo, if Mozambique closes gas, Mozambique, if stop supply electricity, if Mozambique stop to supply charcoal. Chasing the Sun says, they are the same ones who help SA in apartheid. Listen, brothers, we are now going to a deeper level. That's the point I'm making, that because they're in the country illegally, and because they don't want to go back where they come from, and we know that they're desperate to stay in the country, we know that they have nowhere else to go, we know that. But instead of assisting them, of helping them, the only best option for us is to chase them away. And the question is, what happens in future if we will need to flee to their countries? What happens in future if we will need their services? What will happen? Will they remember how we treated them? Will they remember how we chased them? Will they welcome us in their countries? Will they give us water? Will they give us shelter, knowing how we treated them during their time of crisis in their countries? knowing how we treated them during the time of need? That's the question I'm asking. Because even during apartheid, like Chasing the Sun is saying, most of our leaders, they had their hiding place in Angola, hiding place in Swaziland, in Lesotho, in all these neighboring countries, you know, in Zim, in Mozambique. You understand that? During the apartheid, we were assisting each other. Now, democracy comes. When democracy comes, it says you have no right to be in any country illegally. That's democracy. All right? That's democracy. Democracy says you have no right to be in any country illegally. You must be in any country legally. That's democracy. And when we look at democracy, is it fair to our neighboring countries? Is it fair? Is it treating our neighboring citizens, nationals, fairly? Is it treating them fairly? Yes, is the rule, is the constitution, is the rule of law, is the constitution, but is it fair? Is this rule fair? I agree with the constitution. Everyone must be in the country legally. Everyone must have proper documentation. Everyone must prove where they come from. They must have the right papers or whatever. I agree with the constitution. But when you look at what is happening, is it fair to our brothers and sisters to be treated the way they're treated just because they don't have papers? In fact, not that they don't have papers, that they're in the country illegally. I'm not talking about people who don't have papers. If you don't have a paper, if you don't have papers, you don't have documentation, you are a problem, because how do we know who you are? How do we know where you come from? I'm only talking about people who are in the country illegally, but they have documentation to show who they are. They have documentation to show where they come from. Is it fair to treat them so bad that we want them gone? We want them out no matter what. Even though the brother can show you that, hey, I'm from this country and currently there's war. If I go, I'm going to die. I'm from this country. Currently there's famine in my country. If you send me home, you are sending me to die. Hey, currently in my country, there is killing, there is genocide, there is all these things. There is Boko Haram, there is ISIS, there is all these Al-Qaeda. If you send me home, I'm going to be killed. I'm going to die. Is it fair to say we don't care about Al-Qaeda in your homeland? We don't care about Boko Haram in your homeland? We don't care about any terrorist group. Go back home. Is it fair? Is it fair? When the only thing we want is just go home. We don't care what are the reasons you are telling us, because some nationals, some countries, we know what is happening. We know what is happening. We know what is happening in Palestine. We know what is happening in Lebanon. We know what is happening in Gaza. And here it is, you've got people from Palestine in the country illegally, but you have that documentation. And you say, well, I know you are from Palestine, but you have to go back because you are not here legally. You have to go back. And the brother tells you, man, Israel is bombing us. Israel has killed all my family. I have no other place to go. The only place I could be smuggled into was South Africa. Please have mercy on me. Look, no mercy for you. You are in the country illegally. We're going to send you back to Palestine. Is it fair? Chasing the Sun says, okay, Albert says, it's not fair. That is self-hate as Black African. The ghetto intellectual says, Africa for the Africans. Robert Sabuko, yeah, Africa for the Africans. David says, the Constitution is to be maintained. I keeps your leader from becoming a king. I understand that. But let's talk humanity. I mean, we're all humans, all right? We're all humans. We all know pain. In fact, us Africans, we've been abused, all right? We've been treated like dogs. We've been treated like animals, all right? By all races. Chinese are abusing Africans, Europeans abusing Africans, Japanese abusing Africans, Asians abusing Africans. There is no race under the sun that has not abused the African people. We know that. Wherever an African brother is abused. Okay? Now, I'm saying, can't you have some feelings for your African brother? Can't you have some feelings for your African brother? I'm not talking about those who have no documentation. I'm not talking about those who you cannot identify them. I'm talking about those who shows you that, brother, I am from Angola. Brother, I am from Uganda. Brother, I am from Zambia. Brother, I am from Niger. Here's my papers. I have no mother, I have no father, I have no one where I come from. Oh, there's war where I come from. There's no food, there's no work, there's nothing, we're dying. I chose to come to South Africa because it's the only country in the African continent that is easily accessible, that it is easy to integrate into, that is easy to make a living. I came here just for that. I'm not a criminal. Would you say, well, I don't care about your reasons. I don't care whether you were sleeping under the tree where you come from. I don't care whether you were eating sand and drinking water where you come from. I don't care. I'm going to report you to the police. You are here in the country illegally. You have to go. Go back home. Is that how we're supposed to behave? Is that how we're supposed to behave? These are our brothers at the end of the day. These are our sisters at the end of the day. I understand the frustration of them when they come into the country. Most of them, they come illegally. They are scammers. Most of them are robbers. Most of them are hackers. Most of them are drug dealers. Most of them, they're doing bad things, car theft, all the things that they do. I understand that. I'm not talking about thieves. I'm not talking about thugs. I'm not talking about those ones who are here to destroy, to kill, to steal. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about those ones who are not involved in any criminality. Those ones who are not hiding their identity. Chasing the Sun says, I live in Africa. An Indian man tell me to go home. I ask him, where should I go if not Africa? This continent should be safe for all Black Africans, period. We are chased out of everywhere else. So now, where do we go? Chasing the Sun, spot on. Chasing the Sun, you're spot on. I mean, an African is bullied across the world. And now the African is also bullied in his own soil, in his own continent, is being bullied. The only thing I'm saying, can't we have mercy? Can't we have mercy? Can't we treat them better? Okay? Can't we treat them better? David says, I understand. I have worked in Cape Town. Love Cape Town. Yeah. You see, but I think another reason that makes South African citizens angry about illegal foreigners, that makes them not to even have feelings for them, that makes them to want them gone, it's because the business people, the South African business, they prefer to hire illegal foreigners so that they pay them peanuts. They prefer to hire illegal foreigners or to hire foreigners and pay them less money. And so all the jobs that are occupied by illegal foreigners or foreigners in general, they are being paid peanuts because they know that South Africans will not accept the working hours, will not accept the working conditions, will not even accept the pay. So the business, most of the business people in South Africa, they prefer to hire foreigners, foreign nationals, because they know foreign nationals are desperate. They know foreign nationals will take any job because they came here because of crisis in their own country. They came here to make whatever money they can make. Most foreign nationals, all they care about is sending 1,000 rand back home. All they care about is sending 2,000 rand back home. They don't care about flashy stuff. They don't care about fancy things. They care about getting a salary and be able to send something back home. But South Africans, they say, I cannot work for that. I'd rather sit at home, because most South Africans, they had families of 10 people, 20 people, 15 people. The South African household, it's a huge household. So if you're gonna pay me 2,000 rand, what will I do with 2,000 rands? I cannot feed my 10 family members. If you're gonna pay me 2,000 rand, I cannot take care of my family. I cannot take care of my kids. Most South African families, couples, have 5 to 8, 10 babies. So when they want employment that will give them money, enough money to take care of their families. And most South Africans, they travel to work. It's another money. And so foreign nationals, they don't care about the demands that South African cares about. The foreign nationals, they don't care because they don't have 10 kids. They don't have 7 kids. They don't have 4 kids. They don't have a household that consists of 10, 15, 20 people. So they will accept any job. They will accept anything because they have no bigger responsibility. So many businesses will hire foreigners, whether legally or illegally in the country. They prefer them because they can abuse them. They cannot complain. They cannot take them to CMA. They can be fired anytime. They can be abused. And when they start making noise, they can be threatened by being reported to be in the country illegally. In fact, every foreign national that is working and is in the country illegally, they are being treated as if a favor is done for them. The businessman who hired you is doing you a favor. He can report you anytime. He can call the police on you anytime. And so the foreigner will behave in their best behavior. They will not complain about their living conditions. They will not complain about their working conditions. They will not complain about their salary. They will not complain about anything, because if you complain, there are too many foreigners. I'll get your sister to work for me. I'll get your brother to come and work for me. So most foreigners, illegal foreigners, they are abused in their workspaces. They cannot complain. They cannot do anything, because you complain, I get rid of you. I will hire your brother. All right, David Bowman says, have worked in Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Republic of Congo, Angola. David, you've been traveling the African continent, eh? David says, from outside looking in with respect. Zungu Madness says, but diversity is a strength. Right. It is. Chasing the Sun says, they do. It's back home where they send the little money they make back to their home. Yeah. That's what drives them. They want to send money home. So for them, it doesn't matter how much they earn. It doesn't matter how much they get, as long they're able to send something home. That's all they care about. In the South African mind is, you cannot make me a fool. I cannot work for peanuts. I cannot work 13 hours and you give me change. Those are South Africans, man. They don't settle for less. They talk. All right. They talk. They don't settle for less. So this is the conditions, the situations we find ourselves in. But I pray for my brothers and sisters from all over Africa to say, please do not put your life in danger. Put the life of your children in danger. Please, when you go to any African country or you go to a country overseas, please do your best to have your papers right. Do your best to have your documentation right. Just do that, right? Get your papers, get your house in order. Be in the country legally. Be in the country legally so that you can live free, so that you cannot be abused. All right? So that you cannot be abused. Because as long as you don't have documentation, everyone will be taking advantage of you. Everyone will be abusing you. You are doing most work. You are doing the most, but you are paid the least because you don't have proper documentation. Even when they become teachers, even when they become whatever they become, they have qualifications as teachers, but they are paid peanuts because they are in the country illegally and they cannot report it to anybody. So I'm saying these foreign nationals, they're also going through a lot. As much as they're in the country illegally, but they're going through a lot. They're being abused. Financially abused, physically abused, mentally abused, emotionally abused. And of all the abuse that they go through, we come in and say, go back, go back, go back. Well, is the Constitution, what can we say? Is the Constitution of the country. If it says you are illegal, you are illegal. What can we say? What can we do? It is the Constitution. So protecting you, defending you, it will be violating the Constitution. It will be being against the Constitution. So most of the people, they don't want to be on the wrong line of the Constitution. So most people, they will say, go. All illegal foreigners must go because the Constitution says you are here illegally. All right? So it is the Constitution. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how we feel about illegal foreigners. It doesn't matter how we feel about them. The law is the law. All right? David says, please maintain laws and work changes by voting good people to change laws to legally address immigrants compassionate. Yeah. I mean, really. In fact, even these illegal immigrants, they are being used in terms of elections. When it's time for elections, these illegal immigrants are given fake IDs. They're given fake IDs, are registered to vote. So some governments, they use the migrants, you know, to bolster their vote. So that's why I'm saying that we can look at these foreigners or immigrants and look at them and hate them, but they are also going through a lot. They're not happy where they are. They know very well that they're being abused. They know very well that they're being abused. They know very well that they're being taken advantage of because they don't have papers. They know that. So they also go through a lot. I don't think it matters to South Africa if you have proper documents. Don't you see the Ghana man story? So now Ghana step it, he is legal. But what SA did to him? Listen, brother. The issue with that Ghanaian man is that he had a copy of his passport. I think it was a certified copy of his ID or passport. It is illegal for any to certify that document in South Africa. Only a South African document can be certified in South Africa. But that man from Ghana, he had certified his passport, a copy. It was not the original. So that was the problem. It is illegal. Even though it was his document, but it is illegal. All right? It should be done in his own land, in his own country. because his passport is not a property of South Africa. So South Africa cannot certify his passport because it is not the property of South Africa. So that was the illegal part of that person. Okay, so it cannot be that I take my ID and then I need it to be certified in America that it is my ID. No, it is not the duty of the Americans. It is the duty of South Africans to declare, to confirm that I am South African. So how can a South African confirm that you are a Ghanaian, you are from Ghana? How can South Africa be the one to confirm that you are from Lesotho? It is your government that is supposed to declare that they know you, to declare that your document is original, to declare that your document is your document, is not a fake document. So that one was not correct. That is why he had a problem with the law. All right, is the same. David says it's the same in SA. Illegal foreigners are used for votes in USA. Yeah, chasing the sun is the same strategy. That's why, to some extent, I believe that our governments are doing it deliberately. I believe that our governments are opening the borders, allowing these people to come in deliberately, because the government has no problem with illegal foreigners. The people who have problems with illegal foreigners are the citizens. The leaders have no issue. The leaders are silent. The leaders are doing nothing. The leaders are saying nothing. The leaders are not bothered by the illegal foreigners, only the citizens. So sometimes I do think that maybe the government has something to do or something to benefit, all right? It's not something we are sure of. It's not something we can prove, but it appears, since the government is not interested in dealing with it, why would the government not be interested in dealing with it? Why would the government not be concerned? Why? So, David says, but Constitution has the proper way to citizenship. Yeah, it has a proper way to citizenship. You're correct, David. This is why visas come from your embassy in their country. Exactly. That is true. That is true. So the people, they don't even, okay, you see, here's the thing. We have illegal immigrants. We have illegal immigrants or illegal foreigners because people don't want to follow the right channels. People refuse to follow the right channels. People refuse to get visas. People refuse to have passports. People refuse to follow proper channels. That is why we have the problem of illegal immigrants, the problem of foreigners. They simply refuse to follow the right channels. Some of them, they believe that I'm an African. I can go anywhere in Africa. Yeah, you're an African. You can go anywhere in Africa. Yes. 200 years ago, you could go anywhere in Africa without any documentation, without many papers. But it is not so today. So some people, they still behave like Africa, it is what it was 200 years ago, 150 years ago, where you could go to any African walk, pass through without anyone asking for documentation. Guys, we're living in 2026. We're living in the time of technology. Now we're talking digital IDs, okay? We're now talking about digital banking, all right? A time is going to come where all illegal foreigners will just be integrated to the systems of wherever they are. Because when we talk about digital ID, even foreigners, whether legally or illegally, wherever, in whatever country they're in, they will be given digital IDs in the country where they are. A time is going to come, it won't matter where you are as a foreigner. A time is going to come where it will not matter whether you are a foreigner or not a foreigner. When the digital ID system, it's now being rolled out globally, it will not matter where you are. It will not matter where you come from. It will not matter what your country of origin is. The digital ID will get rid of all this fighting amongst us, because the digital ID will seek to trace each and everyone. The digital ID will seek to know who is who, where is he, what is he doing, who is he talking to, where is he banking, how much does he have, where does he stay, who are his friends, which shop does he go to, what bread does he eat. Does he eat white bread, sliced bread? Does he eat white rice, brown rice? The digital ID, it's coming to neutralize everybody. It will put no difference between a citizen and a foreign national. Once the digital IDs are being rolled, everyone must and will receive the digital ID. Without the digital ID, you will not be able to buy or sell. Whether you are a national foreigner, whether you are the rightful citizen, without the digital ID, you will not be able to do anything. There will be no buying for you. There will be no selling for you. You will not be part of any business. All right? So right now we're busy pushing documentation. Oh, you need to be documented. You need to have papers. All right? A time is going to come where we'll learn that these documentations, these papers will be used to take our freedom away from us. All right? Because the moment we have digital ID, as soon as you are not in agreement with the state, as soon as you oppose the state, as soon as you do something contrary to what the state wants you to do, they will turn off your digital ID. David says, I do not see it working that way. David, believe me, it's going to work that way. Believe me, David, it's going to work that way. Chasing the Sun says, this is why all of this is going on. So we'll accept our own demise. Exactly. Exactly. They create a chaos, and out of chaos, they bring order. Order out of chaos. This is how they work. So right now, they're flooding all nations. They're flooding all countries with foreign nationals so that we make no cry. These undocumented people, these are undocumented people, these illegal people in our country. What are they doing? They must leave. They will bring a solution. They will say, all right, don't worry about anybody being illegal in the country. Don't worry about anybody not having documentation. We're now going to have digital ID. You see, when we have digital ID, it doesn't matter whether you came from Congo, whether you came from Rwanda, whether you came from Niger, Burkina Faso, your identity will be online. It's digital. Okay? Your fingerprint. I just need your fingerprint. And then you put your fingerprint on my machine. It gives me all your details. It gives me all your information. That is your digital ID. So at that time, it won't matter whether somebody is a foreigner or not a foreigner. They will neutralize each and every one of us. So what we're fighting for right now, it's okay, we can fight for it. But let's fight knowing that the future will be different. Let's fight knowing that the future will change. There will be no difference between a foreigner and a citizen. That's what they want. Chasing the Sun says, Africa should not allow this. Brother, Africa is controlled by the people. Africa is controlled by the Western people. Africa is not independent. So Africa will do everything the masters tell them to do. That is a fact. Africa will do everything and anything their master says they must do. Each country, David says, each country will always be independent from other. Brother, I wish that was true. I wish that was true. I can tell you that America controls South Africa. America controls South Africa. The rich people control South Africa. It is not controlled by the citizens, all right? It is not controlled by the citizens. There is no country that is independent. When I say South Africa is controlled by America, as long your country is under the organization United Nations, your country is not independent. As long you are under the United Nations, your country is not independent. Your country is controlled somewhere by some people. That is a fact. That is a fact. And that's what we need to deal with. Africa is not independent. Africa is not independent. It has never been independent, and it does not appear like it's going to be independent. All right? It doesn't appear like it's going to be independent. It doesn't appear like it's going to be independent. All right. And yeah, tracking, exactly. Chasing the sun. The purpose is for tracking. The purpose is for knowing who is doing what, where, what time. That is the purpose. And in fact, this thing is what will lead us to what we call the mark of the beast, all right? This thing is what will lead us to what we call the mark of the beast. And this thing will lead us to a one world government. Because once we have a digital ID, all our informations will be under one system. If I go to USA, I don't need to carry papers. I just need my thumb, okay? Everything is here, all right? They just need my fingerprints. By accessing my fingerprints, they will know I am from South Africa. They will know my name. They will know my house number. They will know my business. They will know my school. They will know my church. They will just know anything about me. So this is leading us to a one world government, all right? This will lead us to a one world government. But before we get to the one world government, they must create crisis. So they will say, because of these crises, in order to solve these crises, then we're bringing this solution. That is the agenda. That is the plan. The one world government is on the way. The one world government is on the line, all right? David says, this works for one nation Africa. Brother, it's even more than one nation Africa. It is for a one world government. It's a global nation, a global government. That's what they're preparing. They are preparing a global government. Forget about Africa becoming one. It's too late for that. To have a United States of Africa, it's too late for that. The way things are going now, they want to do something bigger. It's a global community. Remember, they've been talking about globalization. You had global warming. You had all these things, global. All they want is a world government, okay? So the digital ID is to bring about the one world government, one world religion. And so in this one world government, anybody who will be opposing the government, anybody who will be opposing or not supporting, who will be fighting for their own sovereignty, they are sovereign, all right? And say, no, this is our land, this is our nation. We don't want to be controlled by the United Nations. We don't want to be part of the one world government. We want to remain a sovereign, all right? They will do to you what they're doing to Iran. They will do to you what they did to Venezuela. They will do to you what they want to do to China now. They will do to you what they want to do to Russia, okay? So this is the one world government in the making. And we are playing along, hating each other, fighting each other, thinking that we are protecting our interest, not knowing that we are making it easy for the elites, making it easy for the powers that be, making it easy for the global powers, the people who control the world. They're having it easy. So the mark of the beast, the Bible says, if you don't have the mark of the beast, you will not be able to sell or buy. There's no buying, there's no selling for you unless you have the mark of the beast. How can they control everyone's buying and selling? They can only control your buying power and your selling power through digital currency, through digital ID. Without digital currency, digital ID, the mark of the beast will be implemented, because the mark of the beast is the automatic system that if you are not part of it, if you are not in the system of the mark of the beast, then you cannot do anything. You cannot travel by plane. You cannot travel by bus. You cannot access a school. You cannot access a shop. You cannot access a car. You cannot access anything, because to access the following things, or to access a housing, schooling, banking, all of those things, you need ID. When the digital ID comes and the mark of the beast government comes, and you are refusing to be part of the one world government, then your ID will be switched off. Your digital currency, digital banking will be switched off, and you will not be able to be part of the system. David says, you seem to be caught in the aesthetic. It's keep you from coming together as a people. Brother, I am not saying that people should not come together. I'm saying as people are coming together, the elites have a bigger agenda, okay? You can come together. You can unite as Africans. You can unite. You can build one Africa. It is okay. But the powers that be, they have a bigger agenda. The bigger agenda is one world government, okay? It's one world government. So as you are uniting as Africa, uniting as your regions there, you need to know that the end goal, we are going to have a one world government. And as we have this one world government, whether we are united as Africans or not united, whether we're divided as Africans or we're not divided, like, it won't matter. That's the point I'm saying. I started by saying once we have digital IDs, it will not matter whether one is a foreign national in the country or is not a foreign national. The digital ID will equalize everyone. And once the digital ID has equalized everyone, it will not matter whether you are black or white, foreigner or a rightful national. It will not matter. What it will matter is, do you submit to the one world government? Do you submit to the powers that be? Do you toe the line? If you toe the line, you keep your digital ID. If you toe the line, you keep your digital currency, your digital banking. But if you are resisting the one world government, one world religion, if you are resisting and refusing to receive the mark of the beast, then your ID, your digital ID will be switched off. Your digital currency will be switched off. Ram says, as long you're talking English. Chasing the Sun says, religion too, don't forget that. Yeah, it's one world government, one world religion. That is the agenda. One world government, one world religion. And in the one world religion, all religious bodies will be forced to worship on Sunday, or will be forced to use Sunday as their religious day, okay? All religions in the world. We know Christians, some Christians, they worship on Sunday. Some Christians, they worship on Saturday. Islam, Friday, Thursday, some Wednesday. There will be a one global day of rest, one global day of worship, and that day is Sunday. The World Economic Forum has already spoken on this issue to say everyone should rest on Sunday. Everyone should take time to spend with family on Sunday, go to church on Sunday. Business must be closed on Sunday. No train must move on Sunday. No flight must move on Sunday. Everything on Sunday must be on a standstill. We are giving the earth a rest. We are giving Mother Earth time to breathe. Honor nature. Okay? Chasing the Sun says, I refuse to the devil beast system. Yeah, brother. So if we refuse the beast system, then our digital ID will be turned off. Our digital currency will be turned off. So when the Bible says you will not be able to buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast, if you refuse the day of rest of the one world government, which is Sunday, what I'm talking about is information out there. You can go to World Economic Forum, watch their videos, watch their interviews. You will see what I'm talking about. They tell you there. And if you've been following Pope Francis and his famous document, Laudato Si, he talks about that everyone must rest on Sunday all over the world. And therefore, if you refuse to rest on Sunday, then your ID, digital ID, will be switched off. Chasing the Sun says you can thank the Pope for that blasphemy. Oh, brother, the Pope is a blasphemous position. It's a blasphemous man. So it doesn't matter actually how we feel about each other. We can do it now because it makes us special. We can do it now because it makes us powerful. But the future is bad for all of us. It's either you reject the beast and you lose your buying power, you lose your selling power, or you accept the beast, you keep your buying power, you keep your selling power, but you lose your soul. You are selling your soul. You lose your soul and you lose salvation. That's simple. Simple as that. It's simple as that. So I don't know what is it that we're going to choose. I don't know what is it that we're going to do. But David says, I cannot agree to a one religion and one world government. All people become... Exactly, that is a point. That is a point. So if you refuse to be a slave, if you refuse to be enslaved, then they switch off your digital ID. That is why they want digital ID. That's why they want to get rid of cash. They want to have a cashless society so that everyone can be the slave. Because once your money is digital, you cannot control it. You don't withdraw it. You use it digitally. Unlike now, if I got money on my bank account, I can withdraw the money. I can use cash to give somebody. I can use cash to buy something. But once your money is digital, you cannot withdraw it. You cannot have it in your hand. Your money remains online. And the government has control of your money. You don't have control of your money. That's what is going on. That's what they want to do. Everybody will be slaves. We're going to be slaves because they will be telling us, on Sunday we want you sitting down. On Sunday we want you sleeping. On Sunday we want you to go to a church. Failure to go to a church on Sunday. It doesn't matter what church it is. Just find yourself in a church on Sunday. And then your digital currency will continue working. Your digital ID will continue working. That is the agenda. It will start from one country to another. That's why my question was, as we're treating the people we call illegal foreigners, do we think of the future? That maybe in future we may need them. Maybe in future we may need to run to their countries. before the whole world is united under the one world government. Because once the whole world is united under the one world government, it will not matter which country you are in. It will not matter which country you are from. Everything will be the same. Same system, same banking system, same food system, same water system, same medical system, same trade system. Every system will just be one. Chasing the Sun says, I know what I will choose. I choose my God soul. Yeah, brother. Chasing the Sun says, buy lots of gold and silver for the future. David says, not happening. David, you are saying not happening. All right, it's fine, David. David, it's fine if you believe it's not going to happen. But I can tell you now for free, it's going to happen. In fact, to say it's going to happen, it's an understatement. It is happening. It is happening. It is happening, David. It is happening. You see, you have the World Economic Forum. Okay, let me show you, David, that it is happening. You have organizations, okay? You have global organizations, David. You have global organizations which have been prepared to do exactly what I'm talking about. All right, David? Let me show you, David, that it is happening already. I'm going to show you, David, that it is happening already. Okay, David, we have the following organizations, okay? I call them global organizations, all right? And these global organizations are, the first one is the United Nations. What is the purpose of the United Nations, all right? The purpose of the United Nations is to control all nations of the world, is to have all countries under one umbrella. That is the purpose of the United Nations. All right, Ama, when is this happening? Will we live in object fear? What is the outcome at the end? All right, I'm gonna answer you. Let me first I'm gonna answer you, Ama Wallace, and thank you for that good question. Edward Tani says, isn't this oneness will be for goodness or chaos? Oneness will be for chaos. It won't be for good, because it will be slavery. Everyone who rejects this oneness, everyone who rejects this unity will be punished, okay? So if it is for good, why force people? Because everyone will be forced into the system. If you refuse to be part of the system, no water, no electricity, nothing for you. In fact, you are treated like an illegal person, all right? All right, David says, show me. Okay, David, let me show you, David. Amawales, I'm gonna come to you. It says here, I'm gonna quote for you, give you these organizations. So I said the first organization is the United Nations, okay, David? United Nations. United Nations controls the world, okay? It is to bring all nations together, to have one constitution, to have one rules, one laws, and at the end of the day, have one leader, okay? So all nations under the United Nations are supposed to surrender their sovereign to the United Nations, and the United Nations will become the government, the official government of the world. The United Nations will become the official government of all the nations, all right? Because the United Nations It is designed to be the voice of all nations. So in the United Nations, the end goal that must be achieved by the United Nations is for the United Nations to have authority. When the United Nations makes a decision, the decisions of the United Nations must be binding to all nations globally. So once you have that, the leaders of our countries as we know them today will become prime ministers, will operate as prime ministers, and the United Nations will elect a world leader or a global leader, okay? And that global leader will be the president of the one world government. The United Nations headquarters will become the parliament of the world, will become the world's parliament, the world's parliament or the world executive or legislature and executive power. All right. We have the World Trade Organization. The World Trade Organizations control all the banking system of the world, controls the monies, the movement of the monies. You have the World Trade Organization Center, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, the World Bank. All these organizations, they deal with the finances of the world globally, okay? And you have the World Health Organization, okay? The World Health Organizations deal with all the health of the world globally. During COVID-19, it was the World Health Organization that was controlling all nations, okay? It was the World Health Organizations that was telling us to take vaccine, that was telling all nations to implement lockdowns, that was telling all nations that the vaccines are safe. So the World Health Organization was controlling health during COVID-19, all right? You have the food, the World Food Organization. It controls the production, the import, exportation of food globally. So all these organizations operate as world departments. You know, we've got Department of Health, Department of Sports, Department of Justice, Department of this and this in our states, in our nations, okay? So globally, the World Health Organization operates as the Department of Health globally. The World Bank operates as the finance ministry globally, okay? So these global organizations are already in place. They're waiting for an opportunity. They're waiting for a crisis to implement them now as departments, as the global departments of health, global departments of finance, global departments of justice, global departments of whatever a ministry that it is. So all these organizations are ready and prepared to work, but they need a crisis that will make us give up our rights. They need a crisis that will make us surrender our sovereignty. So war is coming, famine is coming, pestilences are coming, disasters are coming. They will use famine, they will use war, they will use pestilences, they will use disasters to put fear on men like they did during the pestilence 19. All of us globally, we were all made to fear the virus. And all of us wanted a solution because the virus was out there. We were told it's dangerous, it's going to kill us, it's going to destroy us. And we were in fear. And we were looking for a solution. And they told us that the solution will be vaccination. All right. And when the vaccination or when the vaccines came, we were angry at those who were refusing to be vaccinated. It was us who refused entry to our schools to people who were not vaccinated. They said, if you are not vaccinated, you can't work, you can't go to the shop, you can't access library, you cannot fly, you cannot use transportation. You remember that? Because you were not vaccinated, you were excluded from the economy, you were excluded from the community, you were excluded from church, excluded from hospital, excluded from anything because you were not vaccinated. The same script is going to come back, but the same script now will come back globally with all nations united as one government. And anybody who refuses, so in the last days, Wallace, in the last days, Arma Wallace, they will use Sunday, the day which the global powers have chosen to be a day where everyone must rest, where everyone must go to church, everyone must spend time with family. They will impose that day to Muslims, they will impose that day to Buddhists, to Hindus, to Christians. As long as you have breath and you are on earth, you will be expected to abide by Sunday law. Don't do business on Sunday. Don't go out on Sunday. Don't work on Sunday. Don't open your shop on Sunday. Don't do anything. Just go to church, stay at home in honor of nature and in honor of the so-called earth. This is what they're going to do. David says this is a possibility. I don't see it as a possibility. Brother, what I'm talking about, it's something that has already been documented, okay? In your spare time, you can Google for Sunday national laws or Sunday global laws, or Google for blue laws. Whatever I've just mentioned, whatever I've just said, you will find it there. This is well documented. The plan is being executed, all right? You can also look at the Pope Francis document, Laudato Si, and just say, you can even ask AI, it's simple. Ask AI and say, hi AI, tell me about Laudato Si and Sunday national laws or Sunday global. It is out there in the public. Their plans have been going on for a long time. The only problem is mainstream media will never tell you about this. Mainstream media will never report about this. And that is why a lot of people are not aware of it. And when they hear it this time, they are afraid. Arma Wallace, you don't have to be afraid. Arma Wallace. So when will this happen? Arma Wallace. This will only take place once all nations of the world agree to surrender their sovereignty to the United States of America. You see what Donald Trump is doing. What Donald Trump and the Pope are doing is two things. The mission of Donald Trump is to unite all nations. The mission of the Pope is to unite all religious bodies. So the Pope is going out now trying to unite Islam, to unite Buddhists, to unite all religions of the world, to put them under one umbrella. And if you don't believe that, do you know the World Council of Churches, WCC, World Council of Churches? The World Council of Churches, it's an organization that has been created to put all religious bodies into one organization or into one thing. So all religious bodies are expected to be under the World Council of Churches. And if you cannot make the connections, why would you want a World Council of Churches if you have no desire to unite all religions? Why would you have an organization called United Nations when you have no desire to unite all nations into becoming one nation? So the United Nations, the name itself tells you their goal. The United Nations The agenda is to unite all nations under one leader. That is the plan. Chasing the Sun says, I don't work for the 5 years, no job, used up all my savings, and I don't have the poison in my body. Exactly. You see, because you did not take the poison in your body, you were punished for doing that. You understand? So this is how the government will deal with all of us when we refuse to take the Sunday law, when we refuse to abide by the Sunday law. This is what they're going to do for us. They will punish us. We'll lose our jobs. We'll lose our cars. We'll lose our houses. We'll lose our businesses. This is how they work. David says, all religions have similar bases, but thousands of years will never bring them all together. Brother, when we talk about all religions being united, they are not united in their beliefs. No, they're not united in what they believe. The atheists will still be there. Buddhists, Hindus, Catholics, Christians will still be there. The unity, it's on the day, all right? The unity, it's on the day of worship, Sunday. All religious bodies will be united on this day called Sunday as a day of rest globally. And all nations will have laws called Sunday laws. All nations will implement a Sunday law, which will be punishable by you losing your work, you losing your job, losing your house, losing everything that you have worked hard for because you are refusing. When all nations have agreed, when all religions have agreed that Sunday is the day of rest, and some people are refusing the decisions by the world government, by the one world religion to say, as the nations of the world, we see it fit that after the crisis we've been through, after the famine we've been through, after the disasters we've been through, wars we've been through, after the conflicts, after the everything that we've been through, we have set aside Sunday as a day of rest to honor God, to honor nature, to come together, to pray to God. And as religious bodies, we agree with all nations on their decision to set apart Sunday as a day of worship. And then some people are refusing after the global powers, after the global religion has agreed. Then not only are you against religion, you are also against government. Therefore, your digital ID will go off. Your digital currency will go off. That is the plan. So when we talk about religion being united, one world religion, not that they will worship the same God. No. One religion, it doesn't mean they worship the same God. One religion doesn't mean now they all agree that there is one God. One religion simply means this religion will be having one thing in common. And that one thing in common is a day of worship, which is Sunday. They will still be divided when it comes to doctrine. They will still be divided when it comes to who is God, what is God. But one thing that they will have in common is to say there is God. What your God is, we don't care. Whether you believe your God is wood, your God is water, your God is a fish, your God is it don't matter. But we are all, whatever your God is, whatever who your God is, Sunday is the day to worship that God. That is the new law. After this episode, I urge you to Google Sunday laws, Sunday global laws. You can go to YouTube, look at World Economic Forum, where they talk about Sunday laws, blue laws. You do that, you will be shocked to find out that this information has been there all this time, just that we do not know about it because mainstream media, they're not talking about it. They're not broadcasting it. All right. So there will be a Sunday national laws or Sunday global laws. And Amma Wallace, this Sunday national law or this one world government, it will begin in the USA, right? It will begin in the USA because the USA is the world superpower. Many people see what is happening in America and they say, well, it's the end of the American empire. You are correct. It's the end of an American empire in a particular angle. It's an end of an American empire in this sense. It is ending being a superpower in America or in the West. It is transitioning to becoming a world empire. So yes, it is losing, it is dying as this superpower over there, but it is being birthed as the world superpower. It will control America will control the whole world. America will control the whole world. If you don't believe me that America will control the whole world, America already controls the whole world. Let me ask a question. Where decisions about the world made? Where are the decisions about how the world is to be run, how the world is to be controlled made? Where are they made? Are they made in Russia? Are they made in China? Are they made in Brazil? In Africa? No. The decisions that affect everyone globally are made in New York. What is in New York? What we have in New York is the headquarters of the United Nations in the USA. So the United Nations is located in America. America is the host of the United Nations. You know that anybody who hosts a party, anybody who is a host in a party or in a wedding, that person is in charge. So the fact that America is the host of the United Nations, it shows you that America is in charge of the world. Chasing the sun, brother, chasing the sun, brother, I am in agreement with you 100%. But when we say Israel is in charge, many people who are not following the events will not easily understand. So we need to take them step by step, because you are correct. Israel is in charge, but Israel is using America. So people see America and think America is in charge. Israel is in charge of America. But again, somebody is in charge of Israel. Who is in charge of Israel? It's a step. The papacy is in charge of Israel. So the papacy is using Israel, Israel using the United States of America. Therefore, at the end of the day, when the United Nations vote for a leader, that leader must be the leader of both the United Nations and be the leader of the world, the one world religion. So you've got the one world government and you have the one world religion. The leader of this one world government and the one world religion will be the papacy, will be the Pope. Because the Pope is the only leader in the world who is both a state leader and a church leader. The Pope is the leader of the Vatican. The Vatican is a state. The Vatican is a country. And who's the leader of the Vatican? The leader of the Vatican is the Pope. And the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church is in the Vatican. So the Pope is not only the leader of the Vatican as a nation, he's also the leader of the Roman Catholic Church, which is headquartered at the Vatican. So the Pope is both the leader of the state and the leader of religion. So when all religions come together, are united, and when all nations, they've come together united, they will elect the papacy, they will elect the Pope as the world leader. And that will be fulfillment of prophecy. That will be the fulfillment of Revelation 13. That will be the fulfillment of Revelation 13. Then you're going to have the mark of the beast power, the mark of the beast government at that time. Amawele says, it has been enlightening listening to you. I have learned a lot from you. May God protect and strengthen us all. Amen. Amen, Wallace. Amen, Wallace. David says, have you seen the advances China has made in the last 10 years? Brother, I have seen the advances China has made in the last 10 years. But do you know that China is being used as a training area? So whatever China is doing, whatever China is implementing, it will be implemented globally. So China is being used as a testing nation. The digital surveillance or the surveillance, the cameras that are being planted, everything that is happening in China, China is used. Remember, I told you, maybe you were not. Maybe some of you were not with us when we started talking about the war. When we spoke about the war, we spoke about Project 2025, okay? Project 2025. Please go to Google, download Project 2025 manual. In the Project 2025 manual, it's a presidential transition, okay? In the Project 2025 manual, the papacy, using Kevin Robertson, they drafted the plan which the president-elect must implement. And Donald Trump has been implementing everything Donald Trump has been doing. It's a script written in that Project 2025 manual. Please download Project 2025 manual, because it is in the Project 2025 manual where we are told that the next target for the United States, the next countries the United States must subdue, destroy, or gain control of. It is Iran, Venezuela, China, Russia, North Korea. Okay? So America knows that China, it's a rising power, but America must control China. America must control Iran. America must control Russia. America must control North Korea. That is their agenda. So in the near future, we will see China being attacked by America. We will see Russia being attacked and controlled by America. We'll see North Korea being controlled by America very soon, because before we have the mark of the beast crisis, all nations must be united. All nations must be under one umbrella. And so China wants to be a sovereign state. Russia wants to be a sovereign state. They want to be superpowers. America has plans to destroy them, has plans to crush their ambition of becoming world superpowers. America is the last superpower. After America, we're gonna have one world government led by not China, led by not Russia, but the one world government will be led by America. And the United Nations will elect the Pope, because the Pope, as you have seen recently, the Pope must be painted as a man of peace. So as crisis after crisis are engineered, as crisis after crisis are fabricated, manufactured, the mission of America is to make the Pope appear as the man of peace. You've seen Trump attacking Pope 2 weeks ago. The reason Trump was attacking the Pope 2 weeks ago, it is because Trump has been given a mandate to elevate Pope as the man of peace, to elevate Pope as the man who loves peace. And you say, how does Trump attacking the Pope makes Pope a man of peace. It's because without Trump attacking the Pope has nothing to say about war. The Pope has nothing to say about peace. But the more Trump attacks him, the more the Pope talks about peace. And the more you and I see Pope as the man who loves peace. It's all the plan, it's all the agenda, it's all the script. Well calculated. All right. David says 6 a.m. in USA. Brother, good morning. Good morning, brother, 6 a.m. Says, must go now. Enjoyed your passion very much. Have a great day. Protect 2025 is never happening. Project 2025 is never happening. Trump is out very soon. Brother, I wish that were true, but thank you so much for joining us. Chasing the sun, but isn't China will be the biggest army of the world? No, never. No, brother, it's not going to happen. China will never be the biggest army. It's not going to happen, brother. David says, Africa will be the biggest superpower by for now. Brother, Africa, China, Russia will never be superpowers. They will never be superpowers. The last superpower is the United States of America. Finish and clap. That is Africans, claro, finish. China will never be the superpower. Read Project 2025. Go to Project 2025. And I tell you, you will be shocked of the things you will discover in that document. The war in Iran is contained, it's planned. The planning of the war in Iran, it's in the Project 2025. The plan of capturing Venezuela, it is in the Project 2025. According to the Project Next 25, the greatest enemy that the United States of America must crush is China, Russia, North Korea. They had 5 main targets: Iran, Venezuela, China, Russia, North Korea. Of the 5 main enemies of America, they were able to attack 2 right now. They've attacked Venezuela, they've attacked Iran. So out of the 5 which they identified, only 3 remains: China, Russia, North Korea. And right now, they're sending their attention to China. And so these will never be superpowers. Impossible. I love Africa. I wish Africa could be a superpower, could be, independent from these foreign powers. But it is impossible for Africa to achieve that. It is too late. Africa is controlled by China, controlled by Europe, controlled by France, controlled by all these Western powers are controlling Africa. So there's no way Africa can be able to be a superpower. I mean, we don't even have an African military. You understand? A joint military, African military. Even the BRICS nation, China, India, BRICS, Brazil, South Africa, they don't have a military, alliance. The American military remains the biggest in the world, and it will remain the biggest in the world, not China. It is the United States which has military bases all over the world, not China. China may have some businesses all over the world, but businesses do not control the world. The army controls the world. When you want to capture the country, you don't use business, you use military, you use war, you use soldiers. America has more soldiers than any nation under the sun. America has more military bases all over the world. No nation has that under the sun. And so, this is what it is. And there is nothing we can do about it, right? It's going to happen because it happening is the fulfillment of scripture. For those of you who are not familiar with the prophecies in the book of Daniel and the prophecies in the book of Revelation, all I'm talking about, it is contained there in the prophecies that America is the last world superpower. America will bring about the one world government, and this one world government will be led by the Pope, the papacy. And when this one world government has been enacted, Anyone who refuses to obey this one world government will not be able to buy or sell. Well, let me take this time and thank you all for joining us. Subscribe to the channel if you are not yet subscribed. If you're watching us for the first time, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for joining us. It has been a good 2 hours. Thank you to David. Thank you to Chasing the Sun. Thank you to all of you that were interacting with us. Thank you so much to Edge Buster. Thank you to Amma Wallace. Thank you to all of you who contributed and commented. You made the episode to be informative. And thank you all for your opinions and your disagreements and your agreement. And it is a healthy conversation when we have people able to voice their opinions. All right. So this is a two-way conversation. So I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate you spending your time. Some of you started watching at 4 a.m. in the United States. When we started, it was 4 a.m. Some of you started watching at 11 a.m. in South Africa. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel and let's meet again tomorrow, same time here at All Things Podcast. Bye for now. Have a great day ahead. Subscribe.